Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today we will be drafting a sleeve pattern, and for this tutorial you will need your measuring tape, your marker, your scissors, your ruler and your brown paper. Okay, let's get started. So to get started you have to mark out 1/2 inch as your starting line, but before then make sure your paper is on fold. Okay, to know the amount of paper you have to fold, just divide your armhole by 2 and add like extra 2 to 3 inches allowance to it. So my armhole divided by 2 is 875, then I added extra inches to it. Then I'm now marking out the 1/2 inch. When you are done, connect with a straight line. So from here we are going to take our vertical measurements. From your starting line, come down with 4.5 or 5 inches, and that is going to be your bicep line. And from there you are going to take your elbow length. My elbow length is 13. Then you mark out your full sleeve length and your 1 inch folding allowance. So that's basically what I'm doing here, and I like to mark my lines multiple times so that I can be accurate. I have a tutorial on how to take your body measurement, so if you have not watched that, go and watch that. You will know how to take your sleeve measurement if you don't know how to do that already. Then I'll connect my lines with a ruler. So we are done with our vertical measurements. Let's label it. This is our bicep line, our elbow line, our full sleeve, and the other one is folding allowance. So it's now time to put our horizontal measurement. For this line, you divide what you have on the fullest part of your arm by 2, or your biceps by 2, then you mark it down. My bicep round measurement is 12.5. 12.5 divided by 2 is 625, so I mark that down. Then on that line you'll be adding 2 to 3 inches allowance depending on what you prefer. I'll be adding 2 inches. You can use 3 inches too, just to make sure that you won't be running at a shortage. Then on my elbow length, I'll divide my round elbow by 2. My round elbow is 11. If I divide it by 2, I have 5.5, and I'll be marking that down. Then on the elbow length, you can choose to use 1 inch or 2 inches allowance. I'll be using 1 inch. Then on my full length, I'll divide my wrist circumference by 2. I have 8 as my wrist circumference. If I divide that by 2, I'll have 4. I'll mark that down. Then my 1 inch extra allowance for sewing it. Then I'll also mark out my measurements on my hemming allowance. Then I'll connect all the lines using a ruler in a straight line, of course. Then I'll come out with 1/2 inch on my hemline and then connect it back to the allowance. This is optional. I'm just doing this so that when I'm folding my hemming allowance, it will lap well. Then from the tip of your sleeve, you just join the 2 tips together using a straight line. Okay, as you can see what I'm doing in this video, just repeat this step. Then when you connect them together, you find the midpoint of this line. When you do that, then you make a mark there. Then from that line, you are going to come up with 1/2 inch. Okay. Then you also divide the 1/2 of that line again by 2. So you find the midpoint of the remaining 1/2 and you mark it out. Then you go down with 0.25. Okay. I have a tutorial on how to read a tape on my channel. You can watch that if you don't know how to read your tape, so that you know all these numbers that I'm calling. So I come down with 0.25. Now just connect them with a straight line. And after doing that, I'm going to draw a curve connecting these lines. So I'm indicating in the video. Just watch closely and see what I'm doing. From here I'll make a curve connecting to the upper line. Then from that upper line I'll draw another curve connecting to the lower line. Then from there I'll connect it to the armhole, but I'm using my hand to do this. I don't like how it looks like with the ruler, so I'm using my hand to complete the curve. So from that second line, you come down again with 1/2 inch. Watch closely where I'm placing my tape. Come down with 1/2 inch, and then you draw another curve from there. This is going to be your front armhole curve. The first one we drew is the back armhole curve. The front armhole curve is usually deeper than the back armhole curve. So this is what we have now. I'm going to go ahead and cut it out before we proceed. So if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do that, because I'll be posting more helpful tutorials. Okay, subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out, especially if you are a beginner. And if you have not watched the video on how to draft a basic bodice pattern, go and watch that. I believe if you watch that, it will make more sense to you why our front armhole has to be deeper than our back armhole. So I'll first of all cut out the back armhole, the first curve. Okay, I'll cut out the first curve first. I'll leave the second one for now. So I'm done cutting it out, and when we open our pattern, this is what we have. So I'll label it back and front. So the back is for the back armhole, the front is for the front armhole. So let me complete my lines. Why haven't you subscribed to the channel? Please subscribe to the channel. It will mean a lot to me. It will motivate me to create more videos like this. So I'm done with that. It's now time to cut out the remaining curve, and that is for our front armhole. So when cutting this on your fabric, be mindful, okay, so that you know where your front armhole and your back armhole is. Now folded it, as you can see, our front armhole is deeper than our back armhole with about 0.25. Then let me go ahead and measure my armhole and see if it tallies with my natural armhole. Let me see if the armhole on the pattern tallies with my armhole. So I have 17.5 plus extra 2 inches. That means I have 1 inch on both sides as allowance, so that's good for me. So that's the end of this tutorial. If you want to use this pattern to cut out a short sleeve, all you have to do is place your tape at the tip and measure out your short sleeve and cut it out. The same thing with your 3/4 length sleeve. Just place your tape there and cut it out. So that's the end of this tutorial. If you find this video helpful, please subscribe. It will mean a lot to me, and I post helpful tutorials for beginners, so do subscribe, okay?